Coming up, a former A&M physician arrested. More details on this developing story. Plus, details on a snafu between first responders and high school students earlier today that left some parents pulling their kids out of school. And we're taking a look at our severe weather come to an end. We're left with a beautiful sunset here in College Station. Your 25 News starts right now. And breaking this evening, according to reporting from the Houston Chronicle, a former Team 4 physician for Texas A&M Athletics has been arrested. This is according to the Houston Chronicle. Corey Gill, the former director of primary care and the sports medicine fellowship program over at the A&M Health Science Center, was arrested on 2 charges of sexual assault. Gill reportedly was arrested Wednesday and released after posting bond totaling $60,000. Gill was fired from the university in February during investigations into alleged incidents of sexual assault. And before the storms arrived today, a little bit of a snafu took place over at Rockdale High School. This all started with the Rockdale Police and the Volunteer Fire Department responding to a fire alarm at Rockdale High School. Now, the cause was smoking coming from a faulty AC unit. Firefighters quickly responded to that, but while students awaited the all clear, that's when things changed. Now, this is all according to the Rockdale Police Department's Facebook page. A student spread an untimely rumor on social media during that time, implying that first responders were there because of a shooting. Now, this caused a mix of confusion with parents who removed their kids from school because of the post. Rockdale PD clarifying today there was not any threat of violence, and if law enforcement or the school district was aware of that, they would have responded in a timely fashion and action would have been immediately taken. In continuing coverage, more on a tragic story. A Texas high school student stabbed to death. The parents of the student stabbed and killed Joe Ramirez now speaking out, and tonight our sister station, KXXV, has obtained a copy of both the police report and arrest affidavit for the suspect, 18-year-old Kaysen Allison. Now, most of the police report is redacted, but the arrest affidavit gives us a better idea of exactly what happened on Tuesday morning. The affidavit states Ramirez was stabbed multiple times in his chest, back, legs, and arm. Police say video shows Allison stabbing Ramirez during a fight inside the restroom. Allison was arrested shortly after at his home, where officers say they found a knife covered with what they believe is blood. The affidavit says Allison stated he stabbed Ramirez once during the fight between both of them. And over in Hearn, we have an update here. Hearn police say they found and charged a suspect all tied to an Easter Sunday shooting. Justin Jerome Evans has been charged with second-degree murder and also tampering with evidence. On April 17th, Evans allegedly shot 48-year-old Cleophas Webster. Webster was taken to a hospital where he later died. Also new at 10, while weather put the brakes on a formal award ceremony at today's Texas High School Welding Series, a local kid from A&M Consolidated took home first place in tool identification at the contest over in Waco. Colin Chase from A&M Consolidated not only received first place rights, he also received a $250 gift card. Today's winners are being posted online. Some contests have not finished yet because more judging has to take place. An effort that's been years in the making, now gaining momentum with a new partnership. Krhd News reporter Brittany DeFran is explaining how a local landfill is benefiting the Twin Cities.
Over the last 10 years, Brazos Valley Waste Management has been working towards providing the Twin Cities with a reliable energy source through landfill gas.
It benefits us in several ways. Financially, it benefits us. First thing is it avoids some of our future costs for expanding our landfill gas collection system. The second way financially it helps is that we'll receive a royalty from the sale of landfill gas.
Now, a new established partnership with Morrow Energy will help residents save some extra cash.
Build a plant here on site and employ it with staff it with their own employees. So we anticipate they'll have about 6 full-time employees on site after the plant is up and running.
Over time, the landfill will see lowering tipping fees, which residents could expect to possibly see in lowering property taxes or various other opportunities where these savings can be used.
One of those win-win situations that you don't come across very often. It's a win as far as finances are concerned, it's a win as far as the environment is concerned, and then it's a win overall for the cities in lower costs of operation.
The partnership will allow the energy company to build their plant on site to help capture more reliable energy and distribute it as renewable power.
We're looking forward to working with Morrow Energy on this. They've done a lot of these projects in the state of Texas. So they're well established. They know what they're doing. Looks like they can get this done quickly.
In Grimes County, Brittany DeFran, KRHD News.
If you're a resident of Burleson County, you've probably seen campaign signs around your neighborhood and know that an election is coming up on Saturday. What you may not know is that a proposition is on the ballot that would raise the sales tax for unincorporated areas of the county. So that's areas outside of city limits. Burleson County Judge Keith Schroeder is explaining that county leaders introduced this proposition all with the hopes of offsetting any need for raising property taxes as the county's expenses rise.
We want to make sure that nobody's using a competitive advantage of the tax, of the sales tax level, to where it was going to hurt businesses. And we reached out to several businesses. We weren't really able to find any that it really affected.
If you are a registered Burleson County voter, you can vote on this issue Saturday, May 7th. Visit our website at KRHDnews.com and we'll provide you with polling locations and more local election information. Also on that topic, special elections continue across the Brazos Valley this weekend, and while no state offices will be decided in this election, here's what voters will see on Saturday. 2 state propositions expanding on homestead exemptions. Those will be on every ballot in every county, and specifically in Brazos County, there will be 2 local propositions on sale taxes, which will be decided on. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to Good Morning Texas for morning anchor Paige Ellenberger's breakdown on those local propositions. And just as a reminder for Brazos County voters, here's where you can cast your vote this Saturday. In Bryan, there's the Brazos County Elections Office downtown, Arena Hall, and Galilee Baptist Church. In College Station, voters can visit the College Station Utilities Meeting and Training Building and Texas A&M's Memorial Student Center. Remember, the polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. Election Day is May 7th. Now, would a new disinformation governance board endanger the First Amendment? It's a question being asked. Attorney General Ken Paxton and several other state attorneys are saying yes. They're wanting the Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, to disband the board. The Biden administration says the board would help target disinformation across the country.
The Disinformation Board addresses disinformation that imperils the safety and security of our homeland.
The board would also coordinate Homeland Security activities against disinformation targeting Americans and the U.S. infrastructure. Well, in other news, at the state's capital city, Austin, they've been the first city to approve a guaranteed income to qualified residents. Now, this program was approved by Austin City Council and will give 85 families $1,000 per month for a year. The approved families will be able to decide how they spend that money, including rent or mortgage payments, food, transportation, and utilities. Also, we have an update. ERCOT is now asking energy companies to postpone their planned outages for this weekend because it's going to get super hot. ERCOT says it's not expecting any blackouts, but it's asking generators to hold off as a precaution. Triple digits are expected in some places weeks earlier than normal, leading to a spike, ERCOT says. It will provide updates in the coming days. Coming up in a story that's positively Brazos Valley, while Bryan Collegiate is being recognized and why they're getting put ahead. More on that story after the break. You're watching KRHD News. Well, we're on the backside of today's activity. We've seen those showers and storms steadily exit the area. There's a few lingering around here in the Brazos Valley, but we're in for a gorgeous evening going forward, taking a look at our Clark roofing cam overlooking Bryan College Station, and we are seeing that activity come to an end on our radar as well. You'll notice still a few showers lingering around, primarily towards the western portion of the Brazos Valley, or eastern portion rather, starting to exit the area as we go forward. There's a flood advisory in effect for portions of Madison and Grimes County until about 10 o'clock as we see our shower activity taper off. Going forward, we are going to see some pretty big changes on the horizon, especially from the little bit more than 2 inches in rain. Some of us saw these are rain totals across the Brazos Valley for the past 24 hours, and you can see the spread. Some of us less than an inch or less than half an inch, and some of us more than 3 inches in some places as we saw those heavy downpours come with some of those stronger storms. Now, we are going to see calmer weather as we go forward into the weekend. We're going to warm up big time with high temperatures landing in the mid-90s. We had that welcome rainfall. Here's an updated look at our drought monitor, and you can see portions of the Brazos Valley. I think our neighbors a little further to the west probably could have used that rain a little bit more, but we are seeing all of this come to an end, at least short term. Lows overnight are going to land in the mid to lower 60s. It's going to be cool and pleasant going forward, and tomorrow our highs are going to land in the lower 90s. Then the weekend comes the big warm up for Mother's Day. You'll notice for our Saturday and our 10-day forecast, we're going to see those high temperatures land in the mid 90s. We're going to see partly cloudy skies going forward, so it's going to be pleasant in terms of that. We won't see any severe weather or any of the rain shower activity, but it is going to be a hot one out there. I want to stress highs 96 on our Sunday. Going into next week, we're going to see partly cloudy skies, and high temperatures are going to stay above 90 degrees. It's going to feel like summer pretty much all week long going forward. Bryan Collegiate has officially been recognized as one of the year's best high schools by U.S. News and World Report. Krhd News reporter Diamond Dixon spoke with a teacher and a senior to learn what makes them so special.
Stephanie Fuentes is an English pre-AP teacher at Bryan Collegiate and says it's a team effort to receive this nomination.
It just reflects all of the hard work that all the teachers here and the students put into in the classroom, and just it also reflects the support that we get from our principals and everyone here. We're a family, so it brings a lot of pride to us.
Students are also able to graduate with 2 years of college credit along with their high school diploma.
Students are able to obtain 2 years of free college once they graduate high school. So we definitely try to promote that because to help our community. And I want them to be here because they want to succeed, despite the recognition. The recognition is the cherry on top.
And Abigail Sanchez is glad to be at Bryan Collegiate.
That's one of the main reasons I wanted to come here in the first place was, you got the opportunity for 2 years of free college. Not anywhere just offers that. And I'm so glad that I had the opportunity and did fulfill this.
After Abigail graduates this month, she's headed off to Austin Community College to study ultrasound. She's expected to finish in a year thanks to an advanced high school career.
It just makes me so happy. I got to spend my 4 years here, and I'm so sad about leaving, but I'm so glad about having this opportunity, and I feel so ready and prepared for what's coming ahead for my college and for life. They taught me so much.
And that preparation comes from teachers that truly care about their students.
All of the teachers that are here, we love what we do, and I think you really have to love what you do in order to be here as a teacher as well. And so that's just something that gets passed on to the kids. They feel like you are genuine, like you really care for them, and so that motivates them to do their best. And I think that's just part of the recipe for this nomination.
Faculty, staff, and students are honored to have received this recognition for 10 straight years. In Bryan, Diamond Dixon, Krhd News.
The $46 billion in emergency rental assistance from the government is expected to run out in just a few months. That's what the U.S. Department of Treasury is estimating. Now, the money is part of what has been helping people avoid evictions, nearly a year since the CDC's eviction moratorium ended. Recently, we've been seeing evictions increasing, but the bigger wave that was predicted also hasn't happened because of the legal community mobilizing to help people navigate the system. That includes law school students.
It's this great resource of idealistic people who are looking to make a difference. They come to law school because they want to make a difference in the world, and this is an opportunity, and that this would be something where they could help out in a lot of ways, whether it was working with legal aid lawyers or through law school clinics.
Georgetown Law School Dean Bill Triner helped organize a partnership between law schools as the federal eviction moratorium was ending. The Justice Department and White House came to him looking for ways to prevent evictions.
The pandemic's been difficult for everybody, but it's been particularly hard for certain communities, and particularly communities with low incomes and Black and brown communities. And I felt a real sense of obligation to help as a result.
He's just one of the more than 2,100 students from 99 law schools who have spent more than 81,000 hours helping more than 10,000 households. That help has included making sense of forms they have to fill out to get assistance.
Just looking at the expressions of folks' faces when they left, I mean, they felt like they had been listened to and been heard. I think that often one of the biggest barriers that people in low-income communities have in interacting with their government or getting the services that they need is just not feeling heard.
Now, Georgetown Law's dean is working with the U.S. Attorney General's office now to see how the initiative with law students can be expanded beyond the pandemic. He says that could include developing more ties to legal aid, starting more housing clinics, and doing more to help people navigate the legal system.
This is a long-term problem. COVID was a particular moment of crisis, but, there's not enough affordable housing in the country. And so there's just kind of an ongoing eviction crisis, year after year.
And you can check with law schools near you to see if they're currently offering any housing clinics or other eviction help. Some places have started putting a tax on groceries. Ahead in our lineup, how it's contributing to food insecurity and the action some places are pushing for to change it. Plastic waste recycling has dropped in the U.S. That starts the news feed. Recycling fell between 5% and 6% in 2021. That's according to a new report from 2 environmental groups. Now, the drop comes as some countries like China and Turkey have banned plastic waste imports from the U.S. Stanford University will launch a new school focusing on climate change. It's thanks to a $1.1 billion donation. The school will open this fall. A major disaster has been declared in New Mexico as wildfires threaten thousands of homes. The Biden administration is unlocking critical federal aid. Fires there have burned more than 160,000 acres, destroying dozens of homes. One area of infrastructure that needs a crucial upgrade is dams. The Associated Press tallied more than 2,200 dams in poor condition across the country, meaning the likelihood they could break and kill someone is high. That's an increase from about 1,000 dams 3 years ago when the AP did a similar review. Infrastructure experts say maintenance was likely put off during the pandemic. Some big changes proposed today to a law that's supposed to help people who earn less secure loans. The changes to the Community Reinvestment Act would make sure banks are not redlining, which is refusing to lend in areas where more minorities or lower earners live. It would also help make sure small businesses are treated more equally. Leaders working on the changes say it would expand credit access, investment, and banking services in underserved communities. Mortgage rates continue to climb. They're over 5% on average this week. That's the highest since 2009, and a lot higher than this time last year when they were under 3% for a 30-year loan. That, of course, makes affordability tougher for some potential buyers. Mortgage rates tend to rise alongside interest rates. Every one of us has felt the pinch of inflation at the store, but some are feeling it even more than the rest of us. More than a dozen states have a sales tax on groceries, costing people hundreds more each year. Dan Grossman shows us how that's increasing food insecurity and what some are doing about it.
We're very close.
There has never been a better time to appreciate Mom.
Sometimes it's fun. I love their personalities. They make me laugh.
Iris Owens is a single mom of 4, but in a month where the attention should be on her and all that she does.
You know, kids are carefree.
She still deflects to what it is they do for her.
They don't worry so much. They don't stress about things. So I try to feel with them in that situation and like, you know what? I can be stress-free right now. My kid is. They're helping me through this by being the way that they are. So
The this Iris refers to is the exorbitant costs she incurs each week to feed her kids. There's inflation, but in her home state of Kansas, there's also the 6.5% she pays each time she goes to the store because of the state's grocery tax.
You know, you go in there and you have a certain budget, like, okay, I'm gonna just spend $50. End up having to spend more or having to put stuff back. You know, that's embarrassing.
Of the 45 states in our country with a sales tax, 13 of them impose it on groceries. Some, like Utah and Virginia, do it at a lower percentage, but others, like Idaho and Oklahoma, do it at its full rate. In Kansas, it's imposed at 6.5%, the second highest in the nation. For Iris, it means an extra $300 to $400 out of her pocket in grocery bills alone each year.
It's very difficult because sometimes you might have to go without. You know, there's been times I have to go without, and I never wanted my kids to feel that. I never want them to know of me struggling.
If we could get rid of that tax, that's going to help those families that we're serving as well.
Brian Walker is with the Kansas Food Bank. In March, it saw its need rise by 15% from just the month before. He thinks a big portion of it is because of inflation and how it's pushing the costs of that grocery tax higher. According to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, the lowest 20% of earning Americans spend nearly twice as much on groceries each year than the highest 20%.
You know, families that are struggling, they look for calories, right? They look for what's the cheapest. And if you freed up some dollars, you know, we could work with them on buying, although we don't want to be the food police, but looking at healthier options, which is one of those things that if we can change that needle just some, we're improving their lives.
Since taking office, Kansas's governor has proposed eliminating the grocery tax, but it's been a battle in the legislature. After months of back and forth, the state finally approved a measure last week that would cut the grocery tax over the next few years until it's fully wiped away in 2025.
It just breaks my heart to know that people are suffering and can't get the food that they need for their children and their family.
Hoping it eases the strain on parents like Iris, who's doing everything she can to make it work. I'm Dan Grossman.
Dan, thank you for that report. Well, a final check of the lineup. Using a credit card could start to cost us even more. We're looking into a push to make swipe fees more transparent and possibly even limit them altogether.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Jimmy Kimmel is up next. Good Morning Texas is on the air tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have a great rest of your evening.